Tonight, after 3 long years, a backlog of 1,300 sexual assault kits given to the State Crime Lab to be analyzed are finally complete. Good evening, I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. First on Fox, Rebecca Jeffrey breaks down the numbers and where some of these previously cold cases stand right now. Hi, Rebecca.
Yeah, when these kits were given to the State Crime Lab 3 years ago, some were already 3 to 10 years old. But if DNA evidence leads to identifying an offender, there's no statute of limitations and a victim could still press charges.
The leaves are beginning to turn in Arkansas, but some other changes in unsolved cases are also taking root around the state.
It's taken 3 years for the State Crime Lab to analyze 1,300 backlogged sexual assault kits. Of those, 179 had DNA already in their database, revealing 2 serial rapists here in Little Rock.
That was a really heavy burden on us to not only work these older sexual assault kits, but also try to keep up with current casework at the same time.
A challenge Cindy Moran with the State Crime Lab says police departments across the state will now take on as the old kits reveal new evidence.
We've given that information to law enforcement, and then it's then their job to then investigate.
Like the DNA of 2 serial sexual assault suspects in Little Rock. One is dead, the other already in prison. Since Little Rock police are now reopening those cases with the new evidence, the suspect's identity won't be released, but new charges could be coming. The State Crime Lab can now take a sigh of relief.
We're going to be able to focus on current cases.
And while the state gradually cools down and turns dormant, for some victims, this is the first time their case is seeing new life.
Now, to help this backlog problem not happen again, new sexual assault kits distributed by the Crime Lab have barcodes on them to allow victims to track their kits, giving them power in a time that feels like a lot of weakness.
Yeah,
you know, I'm sure a lot of people who have cases that are out there, they're happy to get this news. I'm just wondering, what created this backlog in the first place? Why were some of these cases never even tested?
Well, so one thing that the Crime Lab said is this is not because police officers weren't doing their job necessarily. It really was up to law enforcement's discretion, though, because some of these victims may not want to come forward anymore, or they had more information that police were still trying to get at the time, and so the kits just stayed where they were. It wasn't until a new statute came in which it was back in 2015 when this all started, 1168, Act 1168, that then required that inventory to be sent to the Crime Lab, and that's where where they got the ball rolling.
Well, thank goodness for 1168.
Yes.
You're right.
All right, thank you.